SnapPress. Brilliantly simple.
Welcome AlphaGraphics. I'm standing next to the LP1 and the center behind me. My name is Cam from SnapPress. We're at our headquarters here in Salem, New Hampshire. We're super honored to be joining the AlphaGraphics team. Farley over in Nashua, New Hampshire. We were able to help him get into the fastest growing industry for commercial printing. Here's how we did it. Not only would he save him time from his wide format machines to our machine, what's up to 90 feet a minute, we also saved him when he was outsourcing his labels 3 or 4x, which he'd be happy to talk about with you as well. Later on, Kevin Davis, our CEO, is going to be going over the machine in detail, which you'll see, and be ready to print on day one and join the fastest growing industry in the commercial printing. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kevin Davis, CEO of SnapPress, and I can't wait to show you our brand new label press, the LP1. We're really excited to demonstrate this today and show you all the power of our brand new label press. This machine was created to reduce the complexity of label printing. Whether you're an expert printer or whether you're just starting out for the first time, you can use this machine to print as little or as many labels as your company or your customers might need. Let's talk a little bit about the overall design. When we created this, we took a lot of customer feedback of challenges with current label presses and asked, how could we make it simple? Starting with this machine basically webs itself, which I'm going to show you in a second, which is pretty exciting, all the way down to a user interface, which I think you'll agree is as easy to use as an iPad. So let's dive right into it. I'll show you exactly how to start your label printing, and let's say that today was the first day you had your label press, and I'll show you how it's done. You start over here with your input roll. Simply take out some of the media, pass it through the gap underneath here, bring it all the way over to your output roll. You simply attach this media to the output roll, just like this. You give it a little turn to start it. And just like you'd expect over here on the interface, there's a button that says Load Media. When I press this, I'm going to lift the top up so that you can see what happens underneath. These mandrels will come down, the print area is here, will come up, and basically the machine is going to web itself. It's that simple. You'll also notice that this, the source mandrel here will unwind to give the flexibility that you need to web the machine, and then it will tighten up, creating the optimal tension across the print head. So here we go, and we're going to hit Load Media right here. Unrolling on the right, mandrels are coming down, and now it's going to create some tension. Now you have the perfect tension across the print head. That's as easy as it gets to webbing a label printer. Now, over here on the screen, we have this critical checklist. That's for the user to look at just a quick pass by. You can see that all of these attributes here are green, which means the printer is ready to print. We also have a status bar at the top of the printer here. We're going to go in a little bit more detail of the attributes of that, but right now you'll see that that also matches. It's green. So if you're in a professional print shop and this is one of many machines you have, any operator from across the floor can look over and say, that machine's ready to go, or check what other status it might be. So when we look over here at the critical checklist, we see that the media is loaded. We just did that. There's sufficient media to run a job. You have, it's completely webbed. You have sufficient ink. We'll talk about this section over here in a little bit. The printer health is great, and a little thing here is called Other Errors. Unlike other machines, if there was something else happening in the machine and it was preventing your user from actually printing, this would be red right here, and it would actually, in common English, explain what the error is. Not error 34-56, and you have to go look through your manual and figure out what that is. It's going to tell you right there, and another attribute that makes it super easy to use is there's going to be a resolve error button right there. So when there's an error, the machine should be able to resolve it itself, a simple click, and you'll have your green and you're ready to go. And that's another example about how the engineering team has put this together to make it super easy to print labels. So let's say that you're getting ready to go and you want to now start printing your labels. You're going to go to this tab right up here, Print. Very simple, just like you do maybe in a Microsoft Word file. You're getting ready to upload one. There is a computer inside this printer. It's not just a screen. So that computer can be tied directly into your network or any place that you want to put your print folder, and that's how you select your file. So down here, you're going to say Choose File. Just like a regular Windows machine, it's going to show you where your files are hiding these days, and you're going to select the file that you want. Go down here to Open, and then load the file. It's going to put it right here on the screen. Another attribute that we had is we just put right here at the top of the screen, you'll see these white arrows. They're showing the direction of the print, so that when you're looking at this screen right here, you're seeing, okay, that's exactly how that image is going to come out when I'm printing it. If by chance this was not the way you wanted it and you wanted to rotate it, you can obviously rotate it, and now it will come out like that or like this. Any direction that is going to fit your needs for the end product that you're choosing, you can do that right here. Again, makes it super easy. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick the media that you're using. So right here under the media section, we're going to choose today to have no color adjustment. We can and we will provide you with a half a dozen or so profiled medias so that you can hit the ground running with glossy, with matte, with metallic, or depending on what your use case might be. You'll be able to hit the ground running for it. Just for this example, we're not going to use any color adjustment at all, just so you can see what the printer does straight out. And then you're going to select how many copies that you want. So in this case here, we'll print 5 or 6 copies, and the machine is going to get ready to go. That's all you need to do to get ready to print your labels on the SnapPress LP1. What I'm going to talk about next is this status bar on the top here, because when the engineers first came up with this, there's a time that you take to load the file, then it has to go to our RIP and process the image, and then it sends it back to the print engine to be able to print. Well, that's some sort of quiet time in here where you're not really sure what's happening with the printer. So I asked the team to create a status bar here on the top, and it's going to show you exactly what the printer is doing. Right now it's green, so it's ready to print. When I hit print job down here, it's going to load the file, it's going to start processing, and then it's going to send it to the RIP. When it sends it to the RIP, this is going to turn blue, and it's going to show you that the RIP is actually processing the file now, and it's going to count down until it's ready to send the file to print. Just before the job starts, our HP FI1000 print engine is going to say, should I clean this head before I start, or have we been printing, or is it ready to go? If it does go into a quick cleaning cycle, this light up here is going to turn into a rainbow. So again, even though you don't hear any clicking or nothing's moving around, you know that the machine is actually processing your job. When it's done, it's cleaning, it's going to start. And then it's going to be a status bar. So it's going to progress here as you go until your job is finished. Again, from across the room, if you said you were going to print 1,000 labels and you wanted to hit print and then walk away, you can go be working on something else, look across the room, and you can see how close this job is to being finished. So it's just another way to not just have cute fancy lights there, but also to be a help in your factory and your manufacturing process as well. So now I'm going to hit print job, and away it's going to go. It's going to start first processing the file, then it's going to send it to the RIP, and it will turn blue. Probably it's going to do a quick cleaning here, and then it's going to be off to the races. I'm going to go on the other side so we can watch the print when it decides to come out. There we go. It's now sending it to the RIP. There we go. It's counting down. Now it's telling us that it's doing a quick cleaning of the heads before the job. The FI1000 will not clean during a job. It will only clean at the beginning of a job, so you don't have to worry about being interrupted. One of the things we heard from customers is they can waste a lot of media in between jobs. And so one of the things that you'll notice here is when this is done printing this job, it's going to back up. So here it comes now, it's printing the labels out, and they look really great. And when it's done, it's going to back up, and it's going to back up right to the place where the printing started, so that you don't waste really any media in between jobs. So if you stacked up 4 or 5 different jobs for this to print this way, then at the end of each one, it's going to back up, it's going to stop. Now it's ready to start printing the next job, and you didn't waste any media in between the 2 jobs. It's really a nice feature. I'm pretty sure is exclusive to what we do here. So that's it. That's as simple as it is to print your label job. You load your file and select the media and how many units you want, and then you hit print, and then you're ready to do it again. Another really great feature that we have here is over here on the right-hand side is called the cost per label calculator. It takes inputs from the user. So you have to put in here up at the top what the MSI is for the media that you're using. You have to put in how wide the media is. You also have to put in how many labels you have here per file. And so in our example here, we have 3 labels across. Then we put the manufacturer's suggested retail for all the inks in here. And when you hit calculate, it's going to tell you that this label right here costs about 12 cents a label. And this is going to really help you when you're pricing things, if you're pricing them for other folks, or if you, in your own company, if you need to be able to report how much your label production is costing, you can actually put in right here that that label is costing you this, and you can compare it either to what you were paying before or what you want to sell your labels for if you're making them for your customers, which is just a really great attribute. Again, this is down to the picoliter of ink that you're actually using, and as long as you put the right things in the file here every time, or in the calculator, it's going to calculate that for you right down to the picoliter. So that's a great process. We also have the ability to print die cut labels on this machine, and you can do full bleed or non-full bleed labels. When you select your pre-die cut labels here, it's just going to be a simple setup on the screen that says, hey, what's the offset that you have, what's the gap in between the labels and the media that you're using, and the rest of this process is going to work exactly the same as the previous screen you saw. Select the media that you're doing, select how many copies that you want, and you're ready to print. The other thing is, let's say that you had a folder that you were going to open up your label printing, and you knew every day of the week what labels that you were going to print. So you could go to the print section, you could open up the file, and it'll say Tuesday, and you can open up all the labels that you're going to print. In the print job, you can, instead of hitting print to file, you can hit queue job. So that will send this job right here. I think I just selected one label, but that's going to send that to the queue. So you can set up each job that you have for the media that you're running, and you can put them in the queue, and then you can run one at a time, or you can run them all. It depends on how you what media that you're using. If every job you have that day is on the same media, you can just run them all. If you know the first 2 are on one media, you can run those 2, walk away. When it's done, you can change the media, splice it in, and then keep running your jobs. So the queue is actually a really great function to have. The other thing is, if you have repetitive jobs that you do once a week, twice a week, 3 times a month, you can go into your completed jobs, and it will have a list of those jobs. Every job, it never ends, like you can, all of your completed jobs, and you just go over here to the right, and you hit add, and that's going to add that job to the queue. So all the setup that you did at the beginning, you only have to do that one time, and if you're printing that exact same job on that same media more than once, you can just reload it right here, and you go back over to queue jobs, and it's going to be right there. So that's a really great advantage to be able to have. Again, this can be set up for small users, big label printing jobs where you have hundreds of jobs a week. Either one, this machine can handle just like that. Another thing that I wanted to point out here is on the left-hand side, we have always the status of the ink, always the status of the health of the print module, which we're going to talk about that attribute in a little bit. And also there's a consumable called the service tray. That's where when the machine cleans the heads, it puts the residue that it's wiped off the heads in. That's a consumable, so you can always tell what that is. If by chance your user says, oh boy, look at yellow here, I'm going to have to replace that pretty soon, I don't think we have any, you can either go to purchasing or however your company works to order some from us, or the user can go right here and click order now. So that will take you to a screen. You can select which color or which consumable you want to order, and it'll take you right to our store, and you can order it right there. A lot of our customers really like that. We've had some that said, no, we want to control that in purchasing. It's fine, we can turn that off as well, but at least you have an opportunity to do that so that you're never running out of ink. Let's talk a little bit about, I talked about this print module and its health. Let's talk a little bit about that. Alan Datagraph, which is the owner of SnapPress, has been in the label printing business for about 25 years. And one of the things that when I asked the team about what happens with a label printer in the field if something goes wrong, what is the customer experience, almost always it's with the print engine itself versus with the mechanical things that move the media. And so one of the things we wanted to do is make this super easy for the end user to really eliminate downtime. And so what our system uses is called a module. This is the module right here, and it is actually a consumable. Inside is the FI1000 print engine, and what we've done is encased it in a module. We have 5 easy cables that become disconnected that you quickly disconnect. You just take this off here in the front, and right on these wheels, this whole module will slide right out. So if you're having printing difficulties in the field and we can't resolve it with you over the phone or directly by accessing your computer, we'll probably say, you know what, just swap out your module. We ask people to have one on hand. They cost about $2,500 to have one on hand, and then you're able to slide this back, send it to us, slide a new one in, put this back on, plug these connections back in, run a couple of test prints, and you're ready to go. So no longer are you going to be in a case where you have to say, oh, call a technician, it's going to be 3 days for somebody to get there. This significantly reduces the downtime in your shop, because we know that if you're not printing, you're not making money, and if it's holding up your production line on your other products, we know you have to get your labels out. And so that way you're able to do that and get up and running. We'll take that module, we'll retrofit it, we'll figure out what's wrong with it, put a new FI1000 in it if we need to, and send it back to you so you have another one on the shelf. That's the process to make sure you really are minimizing downtime. And when you have to replace one, it's not as expensive, nearly as expensive as some other options out there on the market. Talking about service, let's just go to the service tab here quickly. And I want to talk quickly about our support, which I think is very critical. So your user can enter their email, enter their name or their phone number, whatever they want to put in there, and tell us what the issue is that you're having with your machine. When they hit submit, that file goes to a half a dozen people here at SnapPress all at the same time. It doesn't just send the information you see here, it sends a complete diagnostic of the machine. So it knows what you were printing, the error codes that were throwing off, any challenges that you've been having, the machine records it and sends it to us. So that when our technicians finally get on the phone and talk to you, we've already been able to troubleshoot some of the stuff that you're working on because we get that complete list. And again, it doesn't just go to some nameless queue, it goes to a half a dozen people. Someone is going to get right back to you and say, we will call you in this period of time, or set it something up so you're not just, again, waiting in the queue somewhere for something to happen with a ticket. We have very quick response times because we want to help you. Not only that, but we're able to take over remotely your machine, and we can take it over and walk you through some of the things that we're doing for you so that you can learn how to solve the problem yourself for the next time. Another section, leaving the support section, but going down here to the help screen, we're going to take you through any training that you need in order to get up and running on this. And we come to your location and we'll spend 2 to 4 days there with our team, making sure that when we leave, you're fully operational and you know how to run the product. Just in case you might have forgotten something, we have preloaded here video help guides on how to set up, on how to replace an ink cartridge, on how to replace the module. So if you did forget something, you can go right here to the help section, click on a video, and it can refresh that. We also will have the full owner's manual in the help section as well that you can flip through, or again, you can always reach out to us. After you've printed your labels on the LP1, if you're not using pre-die cut labels, you're gonna want your labels finished. So why do you want a finisher? First of all, when you have a label finisher, it opens up a complete new world for you for sizes and shapes that you can cut. So you don't have to have, like in the case of pre-die cut, the same shape over and over on the roll. You could print 3 different jobs. In this case here, we have 3 of the same job, but you could have 3 different labels coming across your 12-inch width here for 3 different customers, and you send that over to the finisher, and it's going to cut and separate each of those labels into 3 different jobs. So I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. This is our Sentra label finisher. It operates at up to 30 feet a minute, and it uses a drag knife technology. So the drag knife technology allows you to have different shapes and sizes across all 3. You could, of course, can have the same as we do here, but you could have 3 different shaped labels on here, again, for 3 different jobs to the customer. And as you can see, after it gets cut, the matrix gets removed, and then you're separating this into the rolls that you're either going to go put on your applicator or you're going to sell directly to your customer. So again, you can take one roll and split it into 3 different jobs, and it's really quite simple. You're going to set the same cut file that you would send if you were getting these from a third party, or if you were sending them to another type of finishing system. You have to say where those labels are going to be cut. That same file is what you send over here to the finisher. We also have the ability to laminate. So this is a clear laminate right here. There's many different choices of different types. You simply just pull that down and it comes on this label. We're actually not laminating, but you can, and it'll put the lamination on, then it will cut it, then it will separate it, and then it will put it on the final rolls. It's really that simple. So let's see how many copies we're going to run here. I'll just run 5 for you. And this is going to get up and running. You'll watch the knife move, and you'll see how it separates it into the 3 different jobs at the end. That's a quick example of 5, and again, at the end, you'll have 3 finished rolls, and you'll be able to send them on their way and start your next job. So that's how you finish labels after they come off the SnapPress. Thank you very much for taking the time to see how the LP1 works and how our finishing system works. If you'd like more information about any of our products, please go to makelabels.com. Thank you.